community, there needs to be a curriculum development. So there would be more inclusivity within the community for students with disabilities. And I believe that if we do have a revamp of the curriculum and actually educate our peers and faculty and everyone about disability awareness and disability rights, I think that this community would be more respected, and there will be more inclusivity and making sure that they are having a safe space to study at CUNY, participate in activities, and become career ready after they graduate from their CUNY campuses. So, you know, and as you know, that I know the experiences growing up that with a disability challenge that it is. And a disability is not a choice, it's a challenge that a person goes through. And I believe that there needs to be acceptance to that. And there should not be a stigma, because there's people with disabilities are extremely intelligent, and sometimes there's a condition that is a barrier to them, and I think that there should not be a stigma that's behind them. And I believe that people should be free from stigma, and actually everyone can be in an accepted environment. So what I would say is the challenges, and the projects I have worked on is, um, I have worked on multiple projects as a alternate delegate and a representative for John Jay Student Government. When I served in John Jay Student Government last year, I came in and I got elected, and I had that passion to elevate the voices for students with disabilities. Many of my peers have told me that they're not receiving the representation from their campus and so, and faculty members and so. And I was the spokesperson on their campus to ensure that they're being heard. One of them that I have worked on is the capital projects of height adjustable chairs and tables. There was not enough height adjustable chairs and tables to accommodate students with physical disabilities, and I worked collaboratively with the former president and the former vice president of John Jay Student Government, along with the Office of Accessibilities, to purchase those merchandises and to install them in computer labs, so students with disabilities can get priority seating, and they're able to complete their work. And it has been installed last year, before the pandemic, and students with disabilities had the accessibilities to work on their assignments. The second thing that I have worked on is better professional development for faculty members. Students with disabilities have expressed to me in the campus that there's faculty members that are not being understanding with their needs, and there needs to be more, more understanding in actually understand that accommodations is not a special privilege or so. It's for academic adjustment, and they need that academic adjustments, which I made that emphasis. And I worked with the John Jay Student Government to actually promote that professional development training for faculty members. And some faculty members were trained on disability awareness, and I actually coordinated that effort with the Office of Accessibilities, which is a disability center at John Jay. My third thing that I have worked on is the like training the peer success coaches. The peer success coaches was actually not properly, they did not receive enough training, and I actually coordinated with the SAS, which is a peer success coach program at John Jay, to train the peer success coaches. Another thing that I have worked on is students. I actually worked on the I have worked one with the All Inclusive Club. It's actually a club that's expressed on disability interests, and I have been advocating for students with disabilities in in the local campus through town halls, and I have been elevating their voice and raising awareness, and actually raising awareness for disability rights to understand the community better. So that's I've been doing for John Jay. For CUNY, CUNY is actually also a challenge for some of the campuses, especially the underrepresented one. As an example, I visited York College last year, and York College was without a disabilities director, and I spoke to them, and I took it back to the plenary, and I have advocated for funding so they can get the disabilities director. They actually now have a disabilities director, but there needs to be a lot more work in your college, especially in the disabilities resources, especially technology accessibility for the population. Another thing that I have worked on is with Queens College. Queens College was the elevator wasn't functioning, and students with disabilities have experienced a discrimination there. And I actually spoke to the disabilities director there, and we coordinated a better disabilities awareness. And especially, I visited Medgar Evers College. They did not have enough spacing to take their exams in students with disabilities, and actually, they were not able to write their actually take enough private space. So I have advocated for better spacing in actually technology accessibilities, and also like installing special software in CUNY and at John Jay for students who are hearing and visually impaired. So we have like us campuses like Lehman, Brooklyn College, um, QCC, KCC, in public health, in the actually CUNY Grad Center, where students with disabilities are in need of representation, and there's underfunding for resources, especially Brooklyn College. And I will be, if elected, I'll be advocating for that change. So my priorities as Vice Chair of Disability Affairs is to advocate for technology accessibilities. I think that students with disabilities deserve more technology accessibility, especially during the pandemic. Faculty development training to ensure that faculty members better understand accommodation needs. And also, um, you know, I have advocated for funding, like $15 million from elected officials, and I'll continue that advocacy if elected as Vice Chair of Disability Affairs to ensure that students with disabilities receive the funding to their disability centers so they can receive the proper resources to succeed. Another thing that they need is curriculum development. There needs to be more curriculum development covering the disability sector, so there be more understanding about the disabilities rights in the community, so there's less stigma involved with it. And also employment opportunities. There needs to be employment and opportunities for students with disabilities inside of CUNY, outside of CUNY, like internships and fellowships that can be available to them. I will make sure that there's accessibility of needs. I'll be coordinating with companies outside of CUNY, also advocating for funding so there will be employment opportunities within CUNY so students with disabilities receive the professional experience to become ready for postgraduate contexts. Another thing that I want to work on is actually the revision of the actually ADA laws, that there needs to be understanding with it. Actually, understanding more about the invisibility disability and visible disability. Collecting data and open forums will be the way for me to actually bring that to elected officials and bring that change to students with disabilities. So, as students with disabilities deserve to succeed. They deserve to pursue opportunities in the future, career opportunities, become financially and professionally successful. And I think that this is a way for the community to be heard and to be represented. And I believe that I will advocate for that change as their spokesperson, and I'll carry on the legacy of my outgoing vice chair of disability affairs to put in the work for that community when going to Albany and when going to local elected officials and going to CUNY administration. I will be working persistently nonstop to ensure that there is a change in atmosphere and change for students with disabilities so they can actually pursue long-term success and not suffer from poverty or anything like that after graduation. So this is why I am passionate to run for vice chair of disability affairs, because students with disabilities deserve a change and they deserve better experience in CUNY. Let's keep CUNY moving forward. Thank you.